being recorded.
Alright. Okay, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
Today we're going to be presenting on workplace ethics. Ethics, I'm going to be giving an introduction on ethics, and basically this is the title of the presentation today. So I hope you all have a fruitful gathering of information. These are the contents of my presentation today. I'll begin with an introduction to business ethics, and then I'm going to talk about ethics and values at the workplace. Moving on, your role at Valencia, personally me and for everyone else, our role. And then I'll give some 10 traits of workplace ethics, which is very important. And finally, we have an interactive session. So the presentation should last about 30 minutes or so. So what is business ethics? Business ethics is the study of business situations, activities, and decisions where issues of right and wrong are addressed. So basically, in a nutshell, it's whether you decide something is wrong or right. You make your decisions on an individual basis and also at a managerial basis. Moving on, we have something in business ethics called moral reasoning. Moral reasoning, it's something which is not discussed at all. People just are so busy carrying out their daily business activities, but they don't think about moral reasoning, which is very important because we at an organizational level, we have a lot of communication between one another, and so many times we have issues with one another, and then these issues, they never get solved, or they always have a bad effect on our relationships with one another at the workplace. So just as accounts are accurate, accounts, bookkeeping, the thing we call hesabu, it's the same thing as moral reasoning. And I'm going to show you this video which is going to highlight something on business ethics as well as moral reasoning, so how it's aligned together.
Let's wait while it loads.
So while it loads, is there anyone who's confused about business ethics?
Ethics in the workplace.
Here we are.
Work ethics is an invisible employee behavior, noticeable by its absence. What to do? My producer is a bully and hiring like-minded people. Ethics is becoming a question in my organization. I find few employees of my organization disclosing confidential client data to our competitors. Should the performance feedback session follow a corrective or punitive approach? All these are issues addressing common workplace ethics. Ethical problems are inevitable in all levels of business. Ethics is something you either have or you don't have.
Very important point.
Ethics is something that is learned and chosen throughout one's life. In the workplace, the senior management have a responsibility to set an example that reflect the company expectations. Ethics is two-way. Employees having strong ethics in personal and professional life need no explanation, unlike those employees for whom work ethics is a growing problem. By the time employees hit the workforce, can they be taught things like ethics, or is it too late? Training on workplace ethics is imperative. Ethics help a lot in effective productivity, as well as a great balance of responsibilities in your life on personal.
Now this point is very important. I just want to shed some light on it. Productivity, and I'm going to show you how it's going to help us to be more productive.
And professional front. Common workplace ethics, punctuality, responsibility, integrity, loyalty, teamwork, positive attitude, professionalism. How do you train your employees to be ethical to one and all, whether in the professional realm or personal? A written code of conduct.
The written code of conduct, we're going to be having one very soon, where everyone is going to follow like this kind of ethical standard in the company, and everyone is going to see some development within themselves as a character and also values.
Defines ethics to be maintained in an organization. Each employee should have one, including new hires. Training programs. Organizations should focus on training in ethics at the workplace.
So this is just the start now of ethics. So the training now begins as we start, as we speak.
A few members from the top level management can lead the ethics training programs. Performance feedback sessions should be corrective in nature. Good behavior should be acknowledged. Role model. Seniors behaving in a morally upright manner will set an example for employees to follow.
This is true, and also I would like to share with you that it's not only seniors but also employees, because employees are the ones who take an organization where it should be.
Here are a few thoughts to get the ball rolling. Clearly, consistently, and frequently communicate the desired behaviors and why they are important to the organization. Model these behaviors as a leader. Hold people accountable for demonstrating these behaviors on an escalating path. Ethics depends on situation. In spite of training sessions on ethics, enforcement is ultimately left to the individual. And finally, it is essential to communicate ethical values to employees as you are giving them the authority to take appropriate ethical decision in any given situations.
So ethical decisions, you take them on a daily basis. For example, when you have an order and then you don't give them a price list, or you just get the order from your customer and then you decide to give them the prices later on. So there's an issue there already between you and the customer. He might not be happy with the prices, and this situation we always face, that customers are complaining about prices. So what do you do in your situation? Do you make a decision on the spot, or do you get back to your price list and make a decision, or do you consult your senior employees at the office for a decision? So some decisions you have to take as a team. And as a team, meaning you have to consult your peers in the higher levels of authority.
To read more such.
So moving on now to the slides. So we've explained what business ethics is. You know now what business ethics is. Study of situations. So I just explained to you a situation, activities and decisions where issues of right and wrong are addressed. So most of the time there's a study done that issues of wrong are hardly addressed, and this is a big problem. Issues of wrong. So whether it be your own issues, like personally if I have issues, I always think I'm right, but we have to change this thinking and make sure that, look, I have to look at my faults and work on them. If you don't look at your issues, your own problems, not anyone else's, your own problems, like say for example, I'm coming late to work. Whose problem is it? It's my problem. It's not anyone else's problem. We had another issue of dressing code. That's a problem if you dress unprofessionally to work. But time management is very important, and this is an issue which people don't see as themselves, but they look at the company that, look, everyone is coming late, I should also come late on work. If senior management comes late, it doesn't matter. You are working for the company, you have your role to play, and you have to make sure you deliver. You come on time. So these are the issues which personally, even me, I'm learning from this kind of programs, that you have to ask yourself on a daily basis, why am I doing this? Why am I coming late? Why don't I look at my faults? So the why. The why makes you grow where you are. It makes you grow. So you have to, it's individual basis. So these are the ethical decisions you make individually, and you have to make sure that at least once a week or even twice or every day you think about yourself, think about the problems you have, the problems which you're giving yourself. Say for example, coming late to work, giving yourself an easy life when it's not meant to be easy. Moving on. These are some of the values. These are the 8 steps to decision making now in business ethics. These are by Trevino in 2004 in a book, Managing Business Ethics. And it's for all the employees and management to think about. There are 8 steps when 8 decisions you have to make when thinking about business ethics. You have to gather the facts. It's very important to always gather facts, whether written or spoken, but written is always acknowledged in business. And then you define your ethical issues. So you might be having an issue with your colleague at work. Maybe miscommunication, or maybe one of your colleague has gone and taken over your customer. That's an issue. Say for example, Mr. A sells to customer B, and then your Mr. B is working with you and he goes and sells to the same customer. So there's an ethical issue there. Then you identify the affected parties, so the stakeholders. Obviously your customer is affected because your colleague at work might give different prices to the customer. So the customer gets affected, you get affected, your company gets affected. In the end you lose business, you lose your relationship with your fellow colleague at work. So you have to make sure you're communicating effectively. That's an ethical decision you have to make. The consequences I've already identified. You lose business, you lose morality, values, and then the obligations you have. So these obligations come in terms of your obligations towards your customer. If you don't fulfill your obligations, then who will fulfill them? Now number 6 is very important, your character and integrity, and I'm going to have another video on character and integrity. This is also, when you're making your decisions, a lot of your decisions you make are based on your character, your inner character. If you're a bad person, you might make a very rough decision. And if you're a good character, you might end up making a better decision. In the example I gave for the price list, when your customer gives an order and you don't give them the price, and they get to know the price later on. So you always have to be thinking about the actions of your decisions, the outcomes of your decisions. They could have a very, very strong impact on your role in the organization, to such an extent where you can get your letter from the company saying thank you very much. You have destroyed our relationships with all these customers, and you can leave the business. That's how strong it can get. And then motivation at work is very important. This is another point when you're checking your gut, because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then there's no point doing it, because you always feel like I'm doing a thing to achieve a goal. But if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's better you do something you enjoy. So these are some of the decisions you have to make at the business level. Now, this is a very interesting picture, and I'd like some interactive session here. Please let me know what you think about this. We're sitting all here today. We have some books on the table, we have pens. But after this presentation, how many of us will share the ideas? How many will communicate about the presentation? How many will think about what I've said, about the ethical decisions you make, your character? How many will consult each other? So can you please tell me what you think about this puzzle? I need some answers here, please. It's for your own benefit. Anyone? Look at the colors as well, huh? Look at the colors. These colors represent character. These colors. This is your character. All these colors. And just notice what we have on the table, what color and what color we have here. And why we have these colors here. It's so easy. I need answers. Ali, any idea?
I think the blue color represents leadership.
Okay.
This guy is giving out some sessions.
Okay. Good try. Very good try. Anyone else?
Seems the good Kara is the one who has the best character.
Okay, not quite, but good try. What's going to happen next? Think ahead. Look at the puzzle and think ahead. What has to happen? Let me tell you, in a nutshell, what's going to happen. This man has to do something. He has to put his piece in there. Okay? So he does his part. And then everyone else should do their part by filling in the outer ring. But these represent values. These puzzles are all values. It's not all this man might be the manager, and this is his groundwork for the company. These are all his objectives, his goals, they're all on the table. But now the employees, senior management and us also, all the employees are sitting on the table with him, and they have their own colors. These are their own departments. These are their own characters. So they have to come and build a colorful puzzle. A colorful puzzle where it's filled with colors. Any other input from anyone? There's more to the puzzle. There's a lot you can speak about this. There's so much you can talk about, but you have to think outside the box here, because there are colors, yellow, blue, all these colors. Think. I know it sounds a bit boring, huh? It looks boring, this puzzle. But it's not boring, because when you're making your decisions...
Can the colors represent maybe, like in our institution now, some kind of equal maybe...
Equality
tribal,
at workplace?
Tribal line.
No tribal lines here. No tribal lines. There's no tribal lines here. In fact, this puzzle is looking at equality at the workplace. If you look at it, everyone has their own color. And then the blue color could be the manager. He has his own color on the table. The green man is meant to bring his own input into the company, and it should be appreciated on the table. And this is what's happening here. All their values are being brought to the table, but their values are still with them in their hands. Why? Because they have not built the values yet. They're still facing challenges, issues in the field, issues with their customers. They're not filling in. Even the manager hasn't filled in his puzzle yet. He still has to fill in his puzzle. But some employees could put their puzzle inside there. And is that good or bad?
Good.
That's good, yeah. He could put his puzzle in the middle there, because he's trying to be a leader. Someone has a question at this point. There's so much you can talk about this, but you need to ask questions here. You guys all have books here. You could think these are the books as well. And then they're writing notes. And then there's something in the middle here which we don't know. We don't know yet what it is, what other people are thinking in the organization. But you have something in your hand here today, and you're writing some notes. Think about ethics and think about this puzzle. Ethics we've explained are decisions which you make, issues of right and wrong. It's either something is right or something is wrong. If you're in the middle, you are like this puzzle, an incomplete puzzle. So when we leave here, we don't want this incomplete puzzle. We want a complete puzzle where you share your ideas, you share your thoughts. Because if you don't share your problems or at workplace or issues of right and wrong, then you don't fill up this puzzle. So that's what I'm trying to say is communication, those traits which I mentioned, and I'm going to cover them more after this. The traits of business ethics, 10 traits of business ethics which you should all have with you all the time. Those are like power traits when you're working, things that's going to help you in your workplace, wherever you work in the world, anywhere in the world. You know, the doors are so open, and this puzzle is so open, and they can do anything with this puzzle, with their colors. They can even exchange colors. But when you exchange your colors, there's misalignment. There's no alignment. Can we move on? Does anyone have any question about this? I can come to it again. Now, this is very important, this diagram. We have stakeholders as a whole, and then we have internal and external stakeholders. Now, we always interacting with these stakeholders on a daily basis. Every day we're interacting, but we don't know. We're just busy. We go to customer A, or we get a call. We don't know who the customer is. It could be government. The customer could be government. The customer could be society. So we fall under this at the moment. We're internal stakeholders. We have employees, which we all are. And then managers and owners of the business. And they form all this group. All this group. The company interacts with everyone. In fact, it's a circle because we all interact with each other. So shareholders, customers, owners, managers, employees, they all are linked. Society, government, creditors, suppliers, this is our anchor. We're all interacting. If we don't have them, we're not here today. Am I right or wrong? If we don't have society, are we here? No. If we don't have government, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be allowed to be here. Creditors, very important, these people know, very important. Shareholders, customers. So when you're doing your daily activities, daily business, think about this diagram and see who you interact with more. The people you interact with more, they're the ones who your interest lies with more. So your daily, your decisions you make are with these people. But it depends on your on your role in the company. If you're interacting with customers more often, then you should start asking yourself these questions. I'm interacting with customers. Why am I not making some of the decisions which I should make and increase my profitability as a person in the business? Managers, employees, here there's internal communication, and we do that every day. So if you want any questions on this, I can answer after the business, after the presentation. Now your role at Dawn, you're a stakeholder. You're not an employee. This is a very wrong misconception we all have. You're not an employee. This word employee it's old. You should now change it to stakeholder. Now you're a stakeholder in this business, and this is a definition of a stakeholder. A stakeholder is anyone, group or individual. So we are all individuals here, or now we're sitting as a group. Who can affect? So we affect, or obviously we are affecting the business objectives, business performance, because we're a group at the moment, and we're individuals. Who can affect or is affected by the achievement of the organization's objectives? Achievement is like profits, how well the company is doing. So either we affect the business profits, or we are affected by it. Am I right or wrong? Are we clear on that point? You either affect or you're getting affected. So when you're getting affected, it means the business is not doing well. And when you affect, it means the business is doing extremely well. You're bringing in so much output, growth to the business. And this is what we have to think ourselves as. We have to think ourselves as stakeholders and not employees. Because when you're a stakeholder, you're part of the group, the society. You're in the organization as a stakeholder. You can affect the business, or you can be affected by the business. But when you're an employee, you're always thinking about being affected by the business, because the organization is reliant upon you. You are reliant upon the organization. That's the difference. But now this point of affect, you have to affect the business. You're not going to be affected by the business. You have to change the business. You have to affect the business in a positive manner. So this is why we have all these programs now coming up, Sales Award, where you perform, you get affected by the business in a positive way. Because you affected, you had affected something. You had gone an extra mile. You decided to go and affect. So you go affect, the business will come back and reward you. You're not an employee, remember, you're a stakeholder. You always have to affect. Even if you're affected by, this could be in a good way. It's only in a bad way when the business is not doing well. And that's because of all the stakeholders. And this include management, include employees. So always think about this broad term stakeholder. This is another video now which will hopefully bring some
Ethics in the workplace.
back to ethics.
Work ethics is an invisible employee behavior, noticeable by its absence.
It's invisible. I told you, we don't see it every day. We don't even think about ethics.
What to do? My producer is a bully and hiring like-minded people. Ethics
Did we play this video before?
is becoming a question in my organization. I find few employees of my organization disclosing
I
confidential
think we did. Yeah? Yeah, we did. We played this one before. This is the one. This is the one, yeah. Sorry, I put it in the wrong time. So did we read that? It's a bit fast. This is a journey of this lady. It's a true story. This is a true story. So she's a teacher and she's went to the school as wanted a job. She's excited for the new job, huh? It's a very big lesson here for everyone. She got the job, but she didn't get the letter. are together. Culture of organization. What were they? There were three. Huh? Organizational culture, values. One more. Organizational culture, organizational ethics, and values. These are different. All these are different. Huh? Culture is different. Culture is now where we had that issue we addressed in the puzzle, remember, of tribes. It's different from ethics, it's different from value. Now these are the definitions. Huh? Look. There's ethics for you. Values are different. It's not ethics. These are your values. All of us have them. Now what ethics is actions and decisions. Don't mistake it from things which you're something you just think in your mind. No. It's something which you have to put in action as an individual. When you make your decision, they should have an action to it. Now this is another important line. Is being ethical an individual exercise? It's not. It's something which is seen after some time, after the actions you take. See this in her case, she got the job, but according to her value and belief, honesty, respect and fairness was not followed by the school authorities. Honesty, respect and fairness, those are values. They were not followed by the authorities. So she had to make a decision, an ethical decision, based on the values. The ethical decision was not to continue working in such an organization because of those values. So ethics is after the values. These are some of the importance of ethics. Sustainability is very important. This is a very big term. Course of action, very important. My ethical standard and values did not match with the principle. There was no alignment. This resulted not to correctly organize goals and actions to accomplish the important values in life. So she couldn't accomplish her goals. There was a conflict between them regarding our ethics. See, as an individual, she could not be successful, she could not be focused and motivated. He didn't give her any letter of appointment. He said, you just start working. How can you start working? Everything should be in paper. These are the fundamentals of business. And this reduced her ability to be motivated and focused. So in an organization, if you feel that there's anything you are lacking, you have to speak up. She spoke up, she made a decision. Otherwise, all her life, she would be just like this, unsuccessful. She wouldn't be motivated. She would come to work. Maybe even the principal would take advantage of her, make her do work which she's not meant to do. Focus. She wouldn't have a focus in life because maybe the school closes down and she's looking for another job, and then there's no paperwork for her. So these are the decisions which she made. and which you all have to make during your business operations every day. Now, this is very important. Positive or negative impact. It's a fact. It's true. This is general knowledge. Teamwork is crucial. All these represent us in the decision-making process. Because most of the time you can't make a decision alone. You need minds thinking, minds. Not one mind, many minds. We all as a team, sales team. So this is
Created using Baltoon.
sorry about that. This is all the decisions now you've seen that you have to join hands with the organization always. Covered this. Now moving on. Moving on now, I've spoken about the 10 traits at the workplace. Actually, I have to speak about this now. 10 traits of workplace ethics. This is very important now. Remember we had the puzzle now. Now there's no puzzle. There's a broken table here. There's a table which has to be made. These are all people making the table now. This table, and they're joining the parts. Everyone has their own role to do. So we have to now watch the video on 10 traits of workplace ethics. It's fundamental. I think it's better to write these down. Attendance, very important. Can't go wrong. Where a few of us have not made it here today, but they have excused themselves. The ones who did not excuse themselves, maybe next time they should let us know why they don't attend. This also includes attendance at the workplace or in your daily activities. Wherever you're going for a meeting or an appointment, you have to be there on time. Be there, maybe if it's an exhibition or it's another trait of workplace ethics. You have to display honesty. Now when they say display honestly, it doesn't mean your physical character. It means the way you speak as well. You have to show that you're honest all the time. When you don't lie. When it comes under character, your character. So character is another trait. You have to be, under your character, you have to be honest and responsible. They sound very boring, but they're not very boring because these things we don't think about. Personally, even me, I don't think about. But when you start thinking about these things, how to be responsible and how to be honest, sometimes in business you have to lie. So many times people lie. Although try your best to be very honest, responsible as well. Or teamwork. This is so important. You can't work alone. You have to work as a team all the time, especially in such kind of organizations. Without this, you won't get results. This is guaranteed. Never work individually. I want to do this, I want to do this. No, there's no I there. It should be we. The moment you think I, you're thinking about yourself. You're being mean, you're not being productive, and you won't grow as an individual. Always share your ideas and always work as a team. Appearance, very important. I know all of you are dressed so well today, and you dressed every day. You're dressed extremely well, but this is a very important point, because who knows, one day you could just decide to be shabby, and it changes your whole life. This is very important. I don't want to look at the problems which I see sometimes. I don't want to discuss them here, but I want this to change. I want everyone to show a good attitude to people at work. Everyone should be equally treated and should expect respect. So you respect to be respected, and this comes from attitude, the attitude you have at the workplace. There's always a way to be more productive. Always discuss with the team, and look, I have this idea, can we go for it? Don't keep back and don't keep doing the same thing you're doing every day. Try to be different. Try to, if you suggest that maybe we can achieve better success by doing something different, then you should share it always. So these traits are all interlinked. Can someone tell me what this means with the error there in the middle? An organization, if there's an error, you don't spark about it. It's already occurred. The error has happened, so you have to fix the error. So many times we get angry at each other, or we don't speak to each other. You should forget it, get over it, and move on. Open a new chapter. This is what we call flexibility. Be flexible. If there's a problem, someone has done a blunder for you, then don't feel bad about it. Just tell them, look, this is the blunder you've done. Can we solve it together? I know it's easy said than done, but you have to do it. Trait of ethics as well. Good ethics, communication, very important. If there's any issues in communication, address them in the company level. It should be resolved. The issue of the phone is an issue we've been having in the company. No one answers the telephone in the office. So bring these issues. Now I know this issue, and I've spoken about it here. And I've addressed it even with the fellow colleagues that this is communication, and it's an issue that has to be solved. They're all communicating, all of them. Look at the companies as well now. Again, cooperation, very important. You have to be a leader. There's no leader as such. Everyone has their problems. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. So you have to be a leader, and being a leader doesn't mean that you have weaknesses. You have weaknesses, but it's how you solve those weaknesses. trait is respect, and I think it's the last one because it's the bank. At the end of all these traits, you have to have respect. So if we're respecting everyone in the company, we'll make it a better place to work. It's a two-way thing. Just watch this, huh? Very important to watch this. What's happening here? This is all a team. See, it's all a team. That was it for the 10 traits. And now we have an interactive session after this video. Just talking about the power of teamwork. Very important.
You know what's gotta be done. Move it, move it, move it. Hey, you there, pick up the pace. You're falling behind. Come on, let's go.
That's a good lesson for everyone. This is another good one. See how they contribute to the team. And this is a leader who will contribute. One leader comes out from nowhere. See, the one leader signal. One message. There's only one message.
Ganito na. Wimpo! Okay, people tara. Pomelo?
can stop it there. Yeah. And that's the end. Is there any questions, interactive discussion now? Please feel free. Ask anything. Feedback, comments, ethics, values, morality, right, wrong. Open discussion. Any questions, Janet? Yeah.
Labda as we work as a team, we can achieve our goals.
Okay, good point. Teamwork. It's one of the traits of workplace ethics, teamwork. And it's only one trait, huh? There are 10 traits. It is.
Attitude and the way you present yourself,
True.
timekeeping.
Timekeeping is very important. Anything. Starting the day early, right?
Yeah.
Comments, feedback. As a team, what can we do?
You work together.
Working together.
Yeah. In case somebody has a problem somewhere, you
Yes.
share together. Maybe there's somebody who can have an idea on how to tackle the issue.
True, yeah, true. Feedback, questions. It helps to interact. Because now we've left the presentation, now we have to talk about the presentation as individuals, what we have learned and what. Remember the puzzle we spoke about on the table? So now we are puzzling together. Feedback. We should have like a lot of questions, a lot of feedback about the puzzle. You know we're in the box now. We're in a box. We have to come out. We have to speak now. Any feedback?
Good communication.
Communication, yeah. That's what we're doing now.
Like for instance, when you're in a field and you have a problem, you
Yeah.
connect it to the company or to the sales.
How effective has it been so far? Any improvements we can do?
On
Communication.
Yes, like when you call in the office, maybe you are in an outlet, you want to know
Yeah,
whether they
yeah.
have received the order.
It's
the
been an
phone is
issue,
not- yeah,
and
the phone
I've
is not
spoken to the
taken,
company as well to solve it.
and there you are being harassed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true, true.
Mm.
Anything else?